Mia worked the closing shift at a small town bar off the highway. Dim lights, a jukebox stuck on classic rock, and a mix of locals, truckers, and lost tourists. Weeknights were slow, and she worked alone. At 1:12 a.m., he walked in. Late 40s, clean cut, dressed in a black turtleneck and trench coat. He didn't fit the usual crowd. He had an unsettling confidence, the kind that suggested real money. He glanced around, then sat at the bar. His posture was too perfect. "You like working here?" he asked. Mia shrugged. "Pays the bills." He smiled. They talked casually, but then he asked if she'd ever thought about doing something bigger. Before she could answer, he asked what time she got off. That caught her off guard. He hadn't seemed like the type to hit on her. She gave a vague answer and turned away. He just smiled, as if he already knew. When she looked back, he was gone. A crisp $100 bill sat on the bar. A week later, he returned, this time with a woman. Mid-30s, just younger than her age, overly friendly. She complimented Mia, fingers lingering too long. Then the offer came. "I run an exclusive club, private parties. You'd be perfect. $10,000 for a weekend." Mia hesitated. "You should step outside. Someone can explain." "No way." She declined. The woman's mask slipped for just a second. Then she turned to the man. They left. A few nights later, a car followed her home. She pulled into a police station parking lot. The second she did, the car sped off. She thought it was over. Another slow night. The woman returned, alone. Mia texted her boss. The woman sat down, ordered a drink. As Mia turned, the front door creaked shut. She was gone. Mia glanced outside. A black van idled across the lot. Then, metal rattling. Someone at the back door. Her hands trembled as she dialed 911. Was she overreacting? Was she next? Headlights flooded the lot. Her boss. The rattling stopped. The van screeched away. Security footage showed masked figures waiting at the front, while another tried the back. But one figure never moved. He just stood there, staring into the camera. When Mia zoomed in, it was the man in the trench coat. Lock your doors, because sometimes the ones watching you aren't outside. They're already inside. I used to work the night shift at a gas station off a quiet highway. I say used to because after that night, I never went back. Have you ever felt someone watching you? But when you turned, no one was there. It was past 2:30 a.m. when I stepped outside for air. That's when I saw him. A man in a dark red hoodie, standing near the pumps. No car, no movement, just standing there, half turned toward me, watching. Then, without warning, he pushed inside. He walked straight to the counter, his stare cold and calculating. Then, in a rushed, rehearsed voice, he told me his car had broken down past the pumps and he needed a jump. There was no car. I offered to call a tow truck, but he refused. Said he just needed a flashlight, maybe some help under the hood. Then he pointed at the security monitor behind me. I turned to look, and there it was. A car, parked near the highway entrance. My stomach dropped. I had just been outside. That car wasn't there before. Then I saw movement. A shadow shifting near the back bumper. A cold sweat broke out on my skin. I forced a smile, pretending to buy his story. "Let me grab my phone from the back," I said. The second I was out of sight, I hit the panic button. The alarm blared through the store. I expected him to run, to panic. But he didn't. Instead, he just smiled, a slow, knowing grin. Then, without a word, he bolted. I rushed to the security feed just in time to see two figures disappearing into the woods behind the station. The car they had supposedly needed help with. It was still there. I thought it was over. But 2 nights later, I got a call. No one spoke. Just slow breathing. The police ran the plates. Stolen. Reported missing over 100 miles away. No fingerprints. No missing persons linked to it. Just an abandoned car. Waiting in the dark. And I still wonder, if I hadn't hit the alarm, would I have gone missing too? Or was I already marked for something far worse? Did you know? Thousands of people vanish in America every year, right in public places, never to be seen again. Some disappear in broad daylight. No witnesses, no clues, just gone. I live in Ohio, and I work the night shift at Target. It's routine, boring. But that's why I noticed him. He was always there, lurking, never shopping, just watching. At first I ignored it. Maybe he was waiting for someone, but night after night, he never left. Then, as I was restocking shelves, a woman suddenly grabbed my arm. "There you are," she said loud and cheerful, like we were old friends. Then in a whisper, "That man has been recording you. Follow me." My stomach twisted. I glanced over. He wasn't even pretending to browse anymore, just staring. The woman held my arm tightly, steering me toward the side exit. Relief flooded me. Until something felt wrong. Her grip tightened, too tight. My steps slowed. I think we're safe now. She didn't let go. Her fingers dug into my arm. And that's when I realized. She wasn't rescuing me. She was taking me. A chill shot down my spine. I yanked my arm free. Her smile disappeared. The warm, friendly act melted into something cold. Calculated. I turned to run. But the man was already moving. Not toward me. Toward her. They knew each other. My heart pounded as I sprinted for the front, gasping to my co-worker. "Call security." When I turned back, they were gone. We checked the cameras. The footage showed them arriving separately, never interacting. But the second I ran, they left together, slipping into the same black SUV. I never saw them again. But sometimes, on my late shifts, I catch glimpses of headlights idling just beyond the parking lot, waiting. And I have a terrible feeling. They weren't looking for me. They were looking for someone who wouldn't run.